At this time Mu Qingli came over. He's listening to us talking. I've said all I have to say. There's nothing else to say. I looked at him angrily. Thanks to me risking so much to help you retrieve the jade tablet, you don't trust me so much. Mo Sheng still doesn't believe me. You know I hate betrayers. If you don't say something, and he raised his arm. I asked him what he was going to do if he didn't tell me. Mo Sheng looked at me with such a strong attitude. Then he turned around and left. I'll give you a day to think it over. I pondered if I should give him his mother's jade tablet, but the timing was never right. Mu Qingli leaned against the door. Yo! I was afraid you'd be beaten. It seems to be fine. One don't want to pay attention to him. Don't pay attention to me when you're angry. He walked in and continued. I know you two have a misunderstanding. Mustn't still believes in you or you wouldn't be standing here so intact. He had experienced too many betrayals as a child, the worst of which had been when he was 18, and since then he had had a deep hatred of betrayers. You'd better not gamble with him. If he wants the truth, tell him while it's still salvageable. And right in front of it is the grave of Mo Sheng's mother. I also realized that he must have a lot on his mind. Things related to his mother are his scales. That jade tablet is really important to him. But I have my own scales. The most important thing to him is his mother, and to me it's the foxes. Mo Sheng put down the flowers in his hand and knelt right here. He seemed to see something again. Seeing the fox in front of him, Moxon got up. You're the fox from before. This is coming back to throw yourself into the net. And I look helpless. Who's going to throw themselves into the net? Don't you dare mention before. I'll scratch your trousers to pieces. I scratched his trousers with great effort. Looks like you haven't changed a bit. Moxon grabbed my tail by the hand. I'll skin you and boil you in a pot if you don't stop messing around. I'm still scratching him, trying to catch him. A fox and a man just watching. Mo Sheng slowly sat down again. Forget it. No matter it's you or her. They don't seem to be afraid of me. You know, ever since I was born, I've been told by the Wanchi family that I'll kill my relatives. But it also says that my evil star is so high that I'll be on top of power and wealth. My father tried to kill me at first, but was stopped by my mother, and then decided to use me. He fed me poison to try and control me, not realizing that I'm naturally immune to most poisons. What kind of father is this when I hear these words? So I went along with it, pretending I was under his control, becoming a sword in his hand, helping him push his career to the top. Then, let him taste what it's like to fall from the clouds. I understand why this guy's character is so twisted. From a young age he knew how to hide in the shadows like a wolf, waiting for the perfect moment to act. His surroundings drove him crazy. What he really wanted in life was very, very little. Mo Sheng's mother was Mo Jinxiwei, but it seems like everything I want, God slowly takes away. The only family member who loved me when I was young was my mother, but she sacrificed herself to break my destiny of being an orphan. Hearing that, how similar he is to me. Both are not favored by fate, and my parents have sacrificed themselves for my survival. But he's even more pathetic. He didn't have a proper father or a normal childhood. But I'm useless. My mother's only dying wish was for me to retrieve the jade tablet and return it to my grandfather. But I failed. I was at once speechless, for the most important thing in him was in me. He smiled bitterly again. Mother loved foxes very much when she was alive. So at that time I wanted to bring you home to raise you, but I didn't realize that. After you made a scene in my room, the jewel my mother left me is gone. Mother said the jewel would bring me the right person, but you lost it. Is it possible that the one mother is looking for me is you? The little fox. I seemed to realize something was wrong. No way. Did I pack myself away to him from then on and I was the one he was meant for? Thank you for listening to me. It's been a long time since I've spoken my mind to anyone. They just looked at each other, and I kicked him in the face. Swoosh and get out of here. What a wild fox. Musson wiped his face. I went back to my room. It seemed like I'd heard too much tonight that I shouldn't have heard. I looked at the jade tablet in my hand. I'd better give it back to him tomorrow and talk it out properly. And how I'm full of him. All of his destiny. Forget it. Forget it, and cover your head. Next morning, I went to Musson's office and told him to take this. Musson turned his head to look over. He asked me why it was at your place. Of course I'm working with someone else to trick you. Maybe I put some kind of trap on it to kill you. He told me to stop being so angry and tell me what's going on. I also explained that I saw the person who stole the jade tablet last night, so I stealthily chased after him and tried to help you to get it back. Then my invisibility magic somehow failed. Although I got the jade tablet, but the man ran away. I was afraid that it would be dangerous for you to go after him. That's why I said I didn't see anyone. Even though I lied to you, I meant well. I didn't expect you to threaten me so much. Musson looked at me. Then he came up and hugged me. He said thank you sincerely. I heard this and did not respond. And he went on. I'm sorry I doubted you. I'm a little embarrassed. And then cried out. I risked so much to help you grab the jade tablet, and you even doubted me. He wanted me to stop crying, and you threatened me, and you hit me, and I covered my face and complained. He also explained, I didn't hit you. I just straight up retorted, why don't you believe me? You're so sad. And Mo Sheng scratched his head in embarrassment, because this jade tablet is really important to me, so I'll do it this way. I'll make it up to you. And that's what I want. Then I'm aggrieved. Then you promise me 3 conditions. Firstly, no hitting me without my permission, including hitting me. He tried to explain that he didn't hit me. Secondly, you can't just suspect me. You have to investigate everything before you come to me. Okay. Thirdly, I want you to change your bossy ways and listen to me. Mo Sheng listened to the 3 conditions and didn't know how to respond. I went on to say that disagreeing means you haven't reflected properly at all. Moxon held his forehead. I agree. Don't cry. I got what I came for. 2. It's done. Then I asked him, by the way, who the hell is that Ryusetsu you were talking about last night? His eyes immediately glazed over. Flowing Snow, the world's #1 assassin. I'm amazed. #1 in the world. Is my mate of the same race such a dangerous character? I asked him if there was a feud between you two. Musson responded to me, I don't hate her, but she hates my guts. What really happened between you two? But Musson told me not to ask. It has nothing to do with you. I was hoping to learn more so I could find my kindred. In that case, well, you're busy. I'm going. He asked me where I was going. I turned my head to explain and went out to buy some clothes. But in the back of my mind I was investigating the 2 kinsmen in passing. However, Mo Sheng snapped his fingers. You don't have to go out specially to buy. The butler popped up at that moment, and I asked curiously. The result was an array of clothes. The 2 attendants said, these are the latest models this year. Please take a look. I turned to him and asked him what he was doing. Mo Sheng is holding his coffee. Buying clothes is just a matter of which brand you want. Just give them a call and let them bring it over for you to pick out. I'm saying thank you, but in my heart I'm screaming rich bastard. I certainly didn't remain there. What a way to get out of there. Thinking back to just now, in the end I had to bring up the 3 agreements I had just made before he let me out of the house. This man is so annoying. He wants me to stay at home with him. Let's start with the place where the auction was held. It's not easy to find those 2 again. A hand came out from behind. The previous man's mouth said, Beauty! Brother has opened a presidential suite upstairs. Do you want to go up together? I'm annoyed. Yeah, no problem. But let's get one thing straight. I'm not human. As a result, when turning around, he also said, what a coincidence. I'm not a human being either. He beckoned. Come with me. There's another one waiting for you. We walked into this hotel. When I saw the person in front of me, I froze. Ryusetsu said we meet again. Let's introduce ourselves. My name is Lingxi, from the Green Fox Clan. Her name is Liushuang, from the Red Fox Clan. And Lingxi came close to me and continued, and you're from the Silver Fox Clan. Right, they're really from the Fox Clan. I actually have company in this world. Liushuang continued to explain. If I'm not wrong, in this world, the people of the Fox Clan, probably only the 3 of us left. I thought I wasn't the only one, but now it's just us. Liushuang then asked me curiously how the seal on your body was undone. I don't know what to make of it. Seals. There's a seal on me. Of course. Without sealing your fox bloodline, you wouldn't have survived this long. In that case, I do look a lot prettier than before, and my mind is starting to clear up. So is this a sign of unlocking the seal? Is that when the seal was lifted? It's true that your appearance was changed because the seal was lifted, but the ability, the Fox Clan's mana is almost all that's left. Even for me. Ryusetsu laughed coldly again, and even then, might not be able to fight Demon, who was an ordinary person. Curious, I asked her why the foxes had so little mana left. How come you kids don't know anything? It's because of the disaster. Even the Wanchi family has a disaster. Are you friends? Can the Celestial Masters live in harmony with the foxes as well? Not exactly friends, just that we are on a delicate balance. Besides, the Wanchi family is in decline, so they won't have time to catch us. Even if we do, it's still a 50-50th chance. I leaned aside with a resigned look on my face. I must be the one dragging my feet. Lingxi is close to me again. It's okay. Beauty, master is here to protect you. My heart of gossip, burning. This man, could it be that the... Then I reached out and touched Lingxi's chest. Lingxi doesn't know what she's doing. Lingxi immediately covered the chest. Liushuang, you see her, even attacked the chest. I also finally know that you really are a female. I asked her again, how did you break my invisibility? Lingxi got naughty. Not telling you. You took advantage of me, at the expense of me giving you that jade tablet. Liushuang also said Lingxi at this time, told you to get the jade plate. You are good. Hand over. This time Mo Sheng the guy do not even have to pay money to Xian Yuan Group to get something. Lingxi scratched his head. I think it's nothing. She wanted it, so I gave it to her. I also hurriedly explained. Liushuang, it's not Lingxi's fault. It's me who asked her for it. I want to know, is there really a big grudge between you and Mo Sheng? Liushuang raised his hand to indicate that what is between him and me has nothing to do with you, but I advise you to leave him super early as well. I asked her curiously, why? Are you also afraid of his destiny? We foxes are not afraid of his heavenly destiny, but he himself is too dangerous. I bowed my head in response. I'll think about it. Lingxi hurriedly rounded up the situation. Well, there are only 3 of us left in the Fox clan. We should live in harmony and help each other out. Liushuang sidled her head with a look of disgust. As long as this guy doesn't slow me down. I dragged my head helplessly. Yes. You're the world's #1 assassin. I'm just a regular drag queen. Lingxi saw my face. Liushuang is just usually colder, but she cares a lot about her own people. We as the last remnants of the Fox clan, let's support each other in the future. Liushuang still doesn't give a good face. She has a man. It's impossible for her to support each other with me, and her man is still the one I must defeat. Liushuang looked at Lingxi again. Of course, if you want, you can also have. Do not have to stay here with me. A big piece of. It's not possible for me to be with him. He's traveling around every day. He's probably forgotten about me already. I can't believe it. You have a boyfriend. Liushuang also explained. It's an ex-boyfriend. That person you still know it. I know. Hoo-ah! This way. Mo Qingli came to Mo Sheng's office. You are looking for me. Moxon is heavily overdue. I have something to ask you. Mo Qingli also got serious. You said. As a result, I heard Mo Sheng say how to cheer up an angry woman. He immediately laughed at Mo Sheng. I can't believe you would ask me this kind of question one day, because you're the only one I know who wanders around all day. So who am I going to ask if not you? I suggest you take her on a cruise or something. Girls love the Titanic. On the other side of the building, a man said, when are we going to make our move to finish off Mo Sheng? Liushuang sent back word that she's given up fighting against Mo Sheng. A killer who can match Mo Sheng. Who else but Liushuang can you look for? Xian Yuan Hung continued. But don't worry, we'll get our chance soon enough. A ship as big as the Titanic is about to meet an iceberg of his own. He looked out of the window and said this confidently. After I finished meeting with the other foxes, I came to Mo Sheng's office, and Mo Sheng threw me a pile of paper, which is for you. What's this? It looks like divorce papers. No! It looks like some kind of major case file. Mo Sheng continued to take out another box. And this one. And I nervously responded to him. Wait, I'm not ready. Here's the... So it's the goat's jade bracelet from before. And that piece of paper. It's a copy of the house I asked him for. Musson then asked me if you're happy now. And I looked puzzled. I looked at these 2 things. Right. These are the things I wanted before. But how come they were given to me so suddenly? Mo Sheng looked at my expression and reacted so flatly. Is she still unsatisfied? Then she can only. He walked out again. Come up to me and ask me if you're not happy. He looked serious. You're my man, I won't allow you to be unhappy. I just looked at him. Then turning my head to stifle a laugh. I seem to understand what he means, but the expression is just very mismatched. He said he'd go on a cruise with me in a couple of days. I was curious and asked her what she was doing there. He doesn't answer. He just comes. Outside the door. Mo Qingli leaned on the door and eavesdropped. A face of sweat. Mo Sheng, this guy. How can you invite a girl like this? Soon after that, we boarded a cruise ship and went out to sea. Wow! I'm so happy. It's the first time I've been on such a luxurious cruise. I've only seen it on TV before, and explained that it's the kind of episode where you go gambling on the high seas. And Musson says I'm here to gamble. I hasten to explain. Don't gamble, Gambling is a very bad thing. As the saying goes, 9 out of 10 gamblers lose. You can't. But Mo Sheng said, I'm betting on the Xian Yuan family's heirlooms. I sighed. It's the Regulus family again. You're really not finished until you've broken up his family. He asked me if I wanted to go up. Where? He's holding my waist behind me. What are you doing? I'm standing here scared. Are you going to murder me? Throw me into the sea to destroy my family? And he told me to stay put. Mo Sheng looked at the scene and really learned to be useless. Musson told me to look ahead, and then the two of them, one after the other, and it occurred to me, so you're trying to imitate the Titanic. He asked me if I liked it. I'm happy and smiling. I love it. Thank you. Thanks for bringing me here. Do you usually go on cruises? I take cruises from time to time, but never for fun. I turned to look at him. People should not work all the time. They should have fun. I'll take you to the amusement park in the future. Mo Sheng also gave a hum. It's rare that he's such a prude and still comes up with romantic things like bringing me to a cruise ship. Worrying about Mo Sheng's heart is, although there is a dangerous Xianyuan Heng here, but leave her at home. You will face Simon and Wan Yiqian who may come to harassment. In the end, both of them are pretty good like this. And inside the cruise ship, a wide variety of food, and songs and dances, and naturally, there's gambling too. The bustling sound spread through the halls. I followed Mo Sheng here. He took me by the waist and told me not to leave my side. A man called out, "Hi, Mr. Delmont, Xianyuan Heng's brother, Xianyuan Yu." I didn't expect that Mr. Delmont would come to such a place with such dignity. Xianyuan Heng is talking to Xian. Xian, it's rare to see Mr. Delmont here, and he's got that little beauty from last time with him. That's right, he also brought that cute Yun sister with him last time. Xianyuan Yu continued, "Since we're here, I wonder if Mr. Demon has any intention to gamble for entertainment. I also know it's about to start. There was Mo Sheng asked me if I'm not interested in gambling here equals I don't gamble. I'm a good boy. And then it came to me, and I don't know the rules. Why don't you and Mr. Xianyuan have a bet first? I'll see. Since the beauty of the date, how would I not agree to it?" Mo Sheng said to Xianyuan Yu, "Since it's a bet, there must be a prize. What do you want? If I say so, the most valuable thing here is your mind. If I win, you'll work for me. How about it?" Xianyuan Yu smiled and responded without refusing, "I am grateful that you look up to me. What if I win?" Mo Sheng took out a ring. "If I lose, then I will lose this to you." The atmosphere was frozen. No one spoke. I looked at Mo Sheng. This ring is the heirloom of the Xianyuan family. It's the symbol of the head of the family. Whoever can wear it will be the next head of the family. But how did this appear on Mo Sheng's hand? But Mo Sheng said, "This is a jade trigger I got by chance. It's said to be an antique handed down from the Tang dynasty. You should be interested in it." Of course Xianyuan Yu is interested. Mo Sheng took me by the shoulders and asked me to bet for him. I'm flabbergasted. Why did I end up doing it? I sat on the table. "It's your game. I don't know anything about it." Mo Sheng explained. "Shake the dice. Bet on the size. You shake, we guess." Xianyuan Yu is smiling. "Let's start. We're waiting." I looked at this thing. How can I shake it? He got close to me and said, "Haven't you seen those cruise ship gambling TVs? It's just like there." Well, don't blame me if you lose. I slowly reached for it. I reached for it and shook it. The crowd was dumbfounded by my behavior. Finally, I hit the table hard. "Guess, big or small?" Mo Sheng said small, but Xianyuan Yu said big. I nervously opened the dice. It's 2 sixes. Xianyuan Yu wins. I looked nervously at Mo Sheng. No way. Just for a moment, I lost his trigger finger. That thing must be worth a fortune. However, Mo Sheng didn't say anything. He just let out a light snort. He handed the ring out to Xianyuan Yu, willing to gamble. "It's yours." Xianyuan Yu gripped the ring tightly. "Then I'll accept it without any politeness, and I won't let you down." Demeng! And the crowd behind them were talking. So was this an indication of the next head of the family? But at least it shows that Demon is in favor of Xianyuan Oracle. This made Xianyuan Heng on the side tense up, and I stood up. It's finally over, but was directly blocked by Xian. "I haven't seen you for some days. I still miss you. I don't know if Sister Yun is interested in accompanying me to a game of gambling. I don't know you very well." I refused straight away. I refused. I just said I don't know anything about this. "Why do you want to bet with me? Is it possible that Sister Ko has a grudge against me?" Xian immediately explained. "Look at you. I'm just bored. I just want to play with you. What do you want to bet on? We don't bet on things that hurt our feelings." She came close to me again. "If you lose, you'll have to abandon Desmond and stay with me for a few days on the boat. What do you think?" I looked at her with a smile. "If I win, what will be my reward?" But Xian said, "You can ask for anything you want." I pointed at this woman. "If you lose, I want all the shares of Co-Style in your hand." When she heard that, Xian was shocked. She was immediately furious. "It's just a jokey bet and you put up that kind of condition. It's too much." much. But wasn't it her idea? Speaking of jokes, I'll be blunt. You want me to follow you around for the next few days? Is this really just a joke? Don't think I don't know what you want. Kushian, you say it nicely to play with you, but in fact you want to keep me under house arrest, don't you? I told her not to deny it. That's too hypocritical. Just tell me if you'll agree to the bet I made. Kushian looked at me. I thought you were just a white rabbit, but I didn't expect to suddenly extend a sharp claw. You're ruthless enough. But this is what Xianyuan explained. He asked me to keep Yun Liushuang by my side for 5 days. As long as I did that, he agreed to the marriage contract with me. She ruffled her hair. Good. I'll bet with you. I'll do whatever it takes to make this happen. Mo Sheng immediately came forward and pulled me. I don't agree. You want Kushiyan's shares. I will buy them for you. She doesn't deserve to gamble with you. Bastard. Kushiyan was immediately upset behind me. I made a decision with so much determination, but you said it was as casual as buying a bag or shoes. I poked Mo Sheng. Don't be like this. Someone rushed to give me money. Why should I refuse? Besides, this is a woman's problem. You men stay out of it. Kushiyan, dare you bet on hide and seek with me? If it's too much to bully you on the cruise ship, how about in the banquet hall? I'll hide you and you'll win if you find me within half an hour. Kushiyan looked at my performance. That banquet hall only has some tables, chairs and screens. There are very few places to hide people. Good. I promise you. The waiter immediately started to check the dead corners and looked around for places to hide. After checking, the waiter reported that he had checked. There were no other exits or dead corners, so he could start. I made a gesture to Mo Sheng. Naturally, Mo Sheng understood what I meant. I went into the hall alone to hide. Xianyuan looked at Wan Qiqian. It's better to come early than coincidentally. You're just in time to watch the good show. I really don't understand why Miss Yun wants to kill herself. She can't. Wan Qiqian knows my identity. No, he will win. You watch it. Outside the door, Kushiyan said. You're hiding. I'll start looking. She's looking all over. You're dead. Half an hour is enough time for me to go through this place twice. Where else can you hide? The rest of the crowd waited. The minutes ticked by, but no matter how hard she looked, she couldn't find me. She's still wondering where I am, while I'm laughing behind her. It's been 20 minutes and still no sign. Xianyuan also found something wrong at this time, and Wan Qiqian also said it long ago. At this time, Xianyuan suddenly thought, grabbed Wan Qiqian's clothes. Do you know something? And Xian in here asked me where I was. Looking at the time on his watch, there are still 5 minutes left. Xianyuan immediately anxious. Help me win. Don't forget you owe me a favor. I let you deal with Mo Sheng, you don't do it. Then at least this time you must help me. Wan Qiqian hesitated. Finally he grimaced. I promise you to help Kushiyan win the bet. This beautiful woman in front of me is incredibly devastated. Obviously has been rummaged all over. How can it be impossible to find it? The people outside the room are very concerned about the situation inside. It will soon be time still not found. Wan Qiqian indifferently said, can help Xianyuan, but cannot hurt Yun Liushuang, can only be handed over to him to deal with, so he quickly planned. Xianyuan must go to distract Mo Sheng's attention, but Mo Sheng stood aside, thinking that it was almost time. Yun Liushuang would surely win. At this time Xianyuan came forward. Mo Sheng stared so intently. Was she afraid that after she lost, there would be no woman beside her? She is not going to lose. But Xianyuan is very disdainful. He is really full of confidence in this woman. If Guna knows what will happen. Mo Sheng was about to counterattack, but suddenly found a problem in front of him and immediately concentrated on looking forward. He didn't realize it was a strange force. He quickly took out his darts with the intention of stopping it, but the dart in his hand was useless against the thing. But it managed to scare the timid waiter. He looked around with displeasure. Something had just gone in. He should have been able to hit it. At this moment, Wan Qiqian hurriedly covered his mouth, and his expression was a bit painful. Unexpectedly, he suffered a backlash and uncontrollably spewed out blood. At this moment, Yun Liushuang used her magic power to become invisible. Once the dealer announced the end of the game, she could quickly reveal herself, but there was energy wrapped around her feet, and her feet were actually visible. What the hell is this? Why have my feet suddenly lost their invisibility? As the energy wrapped around her body, her invisibility was broken. At this time, Kushiyan found this place and saw Yun Liushuang, who had just revealed herself. She instantly came back to her senses and pulled Yun Liushuang up, saying that she was sure to win this match. In the end, who helped Kushiyan? Who broke my invisibility spell? Is it Wan Qiqian? But when she came out, Mo Sheng directly pushed Kushiyan away and asked her if she was alright in a concerned tone. Ku Xian stood aside in displeasure. Clearly she won the match. She impatiently reminded Mo Sheng that it was her responsibility to find Liushuang within half an hour, and that he should not renege on his debt by bullying others. But Mo Sheng is very disdainful. If he is trying to bully others, what can she do? At this moment, a hand appeared on Mo Sheng's chest, gently soothing him. Liushuang felt that this was her own business and did not want him to interfere too much. Ignoring Mo Sheng's retort at the back, she had already walked in front of Ku Xian, indicating that she was willing to gamble and accept defeat. She touched Mo Sheng reassuringly, and in her heart she already had a strategy for dealing with it, so she followed them out the door, gradually leaving Mo Sheng's line of sight. At this time Mo Sheng clenched his fists. What's wrong with him? Shouldn't he forcefully keep her? But he couldn't refute her. After all, she had chosen to deal with it on her own. He thought of these more and more upset, actually uncontrollable fist to the door of the room. At this moment, the huge cruise ship was illuminated by the moonlight, spreading a subtle scene. Liushuang followed the two of them to the room, but Xianyuanheng didn't say a word. Ku Xian looked at Liushuang, but felt that she was pretending to be noble. Her expression became even more irritated. Liushuang felt very presumptuous. Ku Xian's face was so ugly, a man would not like it. A man's bones like to sing the opposite. But as soon as she saw Xianyuanheng, she stuck up. Can he look at it? At this time, she still wanted to say something. The door of the room was actually opened, so she looked up and looked over, only to see the man in front of her cough lightly to attract their attention. After he slowly walks to Liushuang and gently greets her, it was instantly clear to her that the loss must have been aided by him. At this time, her men reported to Mo Sheng that Xianyuanheng's men were already preparing, and would surely be here in a short while. On Miss Yan's side, Dark 2 is following her, so she can be rescued after Xianyuanheng leaves. But be careful on her side. If she gets hurt, let Dark 2 take the punishment automatically. Wang Qian intends to take Liushuang away, but Xianyuanheng doesn't want to let go of her, saying that it will take 2 days before he can do so. He hung his eyes helplessly, looking even more forlorn and silent, so he pondered for a moment and then softly walked to the door with the intention of leaving. At that moment, Ku Xian raised a gun and instantly pressed it against Liushuang's head. She should consider herself unlucky if she was seen by demon. If Xianyuanheng did anything wrong today, she would also be in danger. Liushuang thought to herself. Sure enough, they are using her as blackmail. They are going to make a move against Mo Sheng. But Ku Xian didn't think so. Don't think she wouldn't dare to really shoot her. So Liushuang changed her words. If she died, then this talisman of her life would turn into a talisman of death. Unexpectedly, Ku Xian hesitated a little. What she said seems to be reasonable. Liushuang secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Now she just needed a chance. At this time, behind Mo Sheng, countless sneaky figures appeared. He had already sensed everything. Who sent you here? The people behind him were even more disdainful, saying he'd better go to hell and ask himself. So they quickly attacked, but Mo Sheng dodged them all. At this moment, he quickly rushed forward, intending to take them by surprise. Sure enough, he was able to kill his opponents with a single blow. In an instant, the area known as the battlefield was cleaned up by Mo Sheng. Suddenly, there was a sneak attack behind him, which made him stagger a little bit. Unexpectedly, he was still hit, and countless blood dripped down to the ground. He covered his wounds in pain, and a regretful voice came from behind him. As expected, it was Xianyuanheng who did the sneak attack. I didn't expect that the high and mighty Mo Sheng would also be injured today. He raised his pistol again. How about letting the sea be your burial place? Mo Sheng is still standing on the sidelines without saying a word, as if he's thinking about something. But Xianyuanheng didn't let him go and said he didn't need to struggle anymore. It was useless now. He pulled the trigger just as the words left his mouth. But Mo Sheng dodged the trigger with ease. When he was in a daze, Mo Sheng had already quickly escaped in front of him. He looked ahead with disdain. Still not dead. Your movements are already much slower than usual. Xianyuanheng instantly chased after him, and the two of them started a fierce chase. At this time, there was a man outside the room. He looked around vigilantly and then blew a secret signal. Both of them inside the room heard the sound, and Liushuang suddenly became serious. At this moment, she could not wait any longer, so she took advantage of the opportunity to counterattack and then quickly escape. But before she could take any action, a hand knife slashed at the back of Ku Xian's neck. It was really Wang Qian who came to her rescue. She was a bit confused and shocked for a moment, but it was too late for them to talk. They could only take advantage of Ku Xian's unconsciousness to escape in a hurry. After the two of them left. The man on sentry duty rushed in and hurriedly looked around, only to see him cover his face in pain, indicating that he had lost them once again. He had no choice but to pick up Kushi-yen and carry her away on his shoulder. At the same time, Mo Sheng was still in a fierce chase with Xian Yuanheng, but there was no way out in front of him, so Mo Sheng had to enter the room. Xian Yuanheng chased after him, panicked. "Now you're like a rat in a cage." He raised his pistol again, indicating that Mo Sheng could no longer escape from his grasp, so he pulled the trigger quickly, intending to give the opposite side of the person a shot to death. But the person in front of him who had been shot once, when he was shot again, the sound of pain was actually a bit off. Xian Yuanheng also dissatisfied frowned, so hastily previously pressed the switch. I didn't expect that in front of him. It was Kushi-yen, who had always adored him, who had been shot at. Mo Sheng, who was a bit pleased with himself, didn't say anything more to them. At this time, he let go of the hand covering the wound, but it was a fake wound without a hole in it. Xian Yuanheng's face was full of disbelief. He was actually tricked and foolishly chased the whole way. His men, also video recording, said the evidence has been captured, immediately sent to the Ku family. At this moment, Xian Yuanheng instantly in incomparable panic. He constantly begged Kushi-yan's forgiveness. Mo Sheng walked out of the room and asked his men if Liushuang had brought him back to the room. The men stammered, not knowing how to explain to the young master. Apparently Mo Sheng had guessed that they hadn't saved her and she was nowhere to be found. The men said they were incompetent, but at the same time she disappeared. There was also Wan Shiqian. Mo Sheng thought with displeasure, it's this Wan Shiqian again. Where would he take her?